Here's what Bruce Allen, the Redskins team president, said about the state of the team.
Well, yeah, we're 2 games out of a playoff. No matter how the season is out of it. And the year before, we were 1 game out of it, and the year before, we were 1 game out of it. So we have to find the right ingredients to get over that hump. And I think with the talent that we're seeing here today, and what's going to be available in free agent, and getting our players back healthy, it bodes well for us.
I don't like how he said available and free agent. I mean, you just have to,
right.
you have to frame it the right way. I mean,
You don't like the language.
You're the team president.
Come on. Forget about the specific language. It's such a low bar. Like to kind of be patting yourself on the back because you're 2 games out of a playoff. And the year before, 1 game out of a playoff. And the year before that, 1 game out of a playoff. You cannot tout that. That is not good. Like if you had a resume, if you're looking for the next GM job and you were saying, well, here's my resume. Look how silly I was.
Right.
I was 1 game out of a playoff twice. And I was 2 games out of a playoff last. That bar is so low.
All I know is that I'm hoping Jason Bishop, who's heading to Mobile, tracks Bruce Allen down, and you do a follow-up interview with him. Try to get an interview with Bruce Allen.
No
See
interest.
what you can get. See what nuggets you can get.
He probably won't even be there when I'm there.
Yeah,
When you look at the responses on Twitter, there are over 100 responses. If you go to the Facebook page, again, facebook.com/thejunks, I saw some people just listening to him. Now, you haven't heard from him in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
555 days, is that what it is?
Something like
I
that.
think it was even more than that.
Whatever it was exactly, it's well over 500 days. So closing in on 2 years, you haven't heard from the team president, Bruce Allen, speak to the media. A lot of people were saying that they feel nauseated, uninspired. Like there's nobody who says, man, that really made me think we're going to go and win a bunch of football games next year.
No. And I think that deep down, but what does he say? He's not going to say anything negative about the team. And maybe, when he's saying, they're 2 games out of the playoff or 1 game out of the playoff, considering the injuries, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Yeah. If Alex Smith doesn't get hurt, who knows? They may have won the division. They may have gotten in as a wild card. But no one truly believes anything that comes out of Bruce Allen's
Valdez,
mouth.
I'm sure you have this clip. Do you have the one where he addressed, somebody asked him, what makes you basically qualified to still have your position after all these years of mediocre to poor records since you've been Dan Snyder's right-hand man? Is that on the list?
I don't know if we have that specific one. Grab your list cakes.
I have so many papers.
Open your notebook.
Look, I have all these papers.
It's literally the first page in your notebook.
I'm overwhelmed.
You know what we should play, though? How about play Cut 2, because he says he understands the fans' frustration. But we want to hear from you. 800-636-1067. We'll open up the Hadid Card Between Listener Lines. How does that make you feel as a fan? Do you feel apathy? That's what Cakes believes. And a lot of people said they feel nothing. Do you feel angry? Because just hearing Bruce Allen and knowing he has that job, you want him fired, and instead he got promoted this offseason. Is that how you feel?
Here's the quote. Here's the money quote. Why am I the right person? I share their passion for this franchise. That's the worst answer I've ever heard.
That's kind of what he talks about here.
You know who else shares the passion for the franchise? Drunk Mike. He's not qualified to be the GM or president of the team. Though he might be more qualified than Bruce Allen.
Okay? Let's hear that response.
Here's Bruce talking about the fans' frustration.
See our standings. We're 7-9. We went through some heartbreaking injuries for the players. If we can keep our team together, I think they saw a good football team. I know we were where we were at through 10 games, and we have to learn to finish the season. It's no different than the previous year, not winning the last game of the season, the last couple of years. It's heart-wrenching to everyone. The passion of our fans is fantastic. They want us to win. We hear from them. I know exactly what they want. They want to win football games.
It's a very thinly veiled. Kirk Cousins couldn't win the last few games in the last few seasons.
Nothing's going to change.
I don't think anything's going to change.
Nothing's going to change.
Why would I think anything
we
would be
hammer
different?
Bruce Allen every single year during the season and in the offseason.
Now,
Nothing's going to change.
No.
Snyder's not going to fire him. Bruce Allen's not going to resign. Nothing's going to change in the organization. They're going to suck next year. Who knows what they're going to do at quarterback? They're going to botch the draft. Nothing will change.
And the thing which I found and I find most comical about it is that Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator, sat in on interviews for his potential replacement. Here's what Bruce Allen said about that.
Coach Minuski was in several of those interviews that you're talking about, and once again, we're trying to find the winning combination for 2019, and there's a lot of good ideas out there, a lot of good football coaches out there, and the more you talk to others, the more you can learn, and that's what we're using this next month for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is Greg Minuski the world's largest jellyfish? Where he's just oh, you're interviewing my potential replacement? Sure, I'll come in and sit in on that meeting.
He's being professionally cuckolded.
Hey, he's still getting a paycheck.
There is something to
And
be
it's
said.
probably a pretty nice one.
I'm sure it's a great paycheck.
And that just tells me, and I said this earlier in the show, that just tells me that there was still a spot on the defensive coaching staff for Greg Minuski.
Right.
I don't think they were going to bring in Todd Bowles
So
and then
just
say, all right, Todd.
demotion.
Yeah, just a demotion. I don't think they're going to bring in Minuski, if you believe that happened, by the way. Minuski comes in in the interview room with Bowles and Snyder and Bruce Allen.
I would make any excuse
They hire
possible.
Bowles, and then they fire Minuski. I don't know if that would have happened.
I don't care if it does risk me losing my job. If my boss comes in and says, "Hey, sit in on this meeting. We're going to kick around some ideas." I would say, "I'm busy. I've got something going on this afternoon. I don't know. I'm errands."
What if he said, if you
Poker.
don't come to the meeting, you're fired?
I would say, "Okay, fire me."
Really?
I probably would.
What's Minuski making a year?
I don't know.
Was he making $750?
Probably something in that neighborhood.
You're going to give that up? Is he
I'm
locked
gonna
in for
say-
another position or
You know
another
what
team?
I would do? I would call their bluff. Call the bluff.